Hello there, YouTube friends. I am going to do another curriculum comparison video. As you can see, I have done some others already, and those are up on my channel if you want to go and look for those. But today I am going to be comparing the three curriculum that you see before you: BJU Press English, language lessons for living education, produced by Master Books, and learning language arts through literature, that is published by Common Press. Now, what this video is not, this is not going to be a complete flip through of these three curriculum. I'm going to run down just a real brief list of the things I'm going to be talking about so you can know right off the bat if this is something that's going to be helpful to you. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to try and share with you all the things that I was comparing between these three, because these were all contender curriculum for me for the following school year. So as I'm researching, I'm just going to share with you what I'm finding. So what I'm going to share with you are the different things that I was looking at and tell you what I found in each curriculum and how they compare, and hopefully that will help you as you're making your curriculum picks. Now, the reason I'm doing this now is because if you're watching this as I post, it's March, and there are a lot of deals going on. Christian Book has a 35% off Apologia. BJU Press is getting ready to have their Facebook party where they give convention discounts. March Madness is going on at Pandia Press. So this is just a time of year. Oh, Memorial Press has free shipping, I think, $75 and over. So there's a lot of different deals going on right now. And I know a lot of you are using tax money to purchase things. So please, by all means, if anything in this video, if there's anything missing in this video that you really want to know that would really help you about one of these curriculum, please let me know in the comments below. Please like this video so other moms will see it. And if you are not yet subscribed, I would encourage you to subscribe, because that lets me come up in other homeschool moms searches, and when they're searching for things, I don't really pretend to understand the YouTube algorithms and all those things, but but I do want people that need this information to see it. So if you would do those things, that would be great. Here's what we're going to cover. I'm going to talk about the length of lessons, the number of lessons, the teacher's resources, the time for the lessons, the grammar, how it's taught and how it's presented and the content of it, the variety of activities, spelling, writing, reading, how the different curriculums handle that. I'm going to talk about biblical integration in the three programs, the cost, and the extra materials given for support and help. Okay, so let's dig in. First of all, as you can see, I have English 2 here, the teacher's guide. I don't have English 3 teacher's guide, but I do have the student work pages to show you, and I will be showing you those. These are all at what the different publishers are calling the 3rd grade level. So I know this is 2 here, but I do have the 3rd grade student book to show you. But for right now, another homeschool mom has my English 3 book, so I don't have that to show you, but it is laid out the same way, so you'll be able to get a good idea. There are 165 lessons in the BJU Press English for a typical school year. In case you're not aware, it's 180 days. There are 180 lessons in this one and 180 lessons in this one. So the nice thing about having just a few less than maximum lessons is it does give you a little bit of playroom for things like sick days and whatnot, if you're of the mindset that you really want to finish the book. Of course, you don't have to do that. This is a tool for you, but just so you know, this does give you a little built-in wiggle room. The lessons themselves and how long they take, I'm going to open this up real quick. Oh, I'll show you those in a second. I'm going to open this up real quick to a lesson. You know, I'm going to go just to where it's here. Okay, this is good. Okay, so I'm going to give you a peek at a daily lesson in each one and let you know how long the lessons approximately take. So there is a consistent lesson flow in this book and this book. I will say in the Learning Language Arts Through Literature, the lessons really vary in the amount of time they may take. Sometimes there's just a few quick grammar exercises to do, and it's a 15-minute thing, you're done. Other times you are doing quite a bit of copy work and sentence writing and grammar all in the same day, and you could be half an hour plus. So this is a lot less predictable for scheduling purposes. This is the most predictable. On the back of the book, it actually does tell you day 1, day 2 and 3, day 4 and day 5. It's a consistent pattern, and they actually do go through that in the front of the book as well in the teacher little helps section. They give you, right, oh, I think my pages are sticking together here. They give you this little write-up about the course, and the very first thing they say about the lessons is that children enjoy patterns. They like to have rhythms in life that they can count on, and this course is set up in a pattern. So these lessons are consistent in the amount of time they take, and they're about, I would say, anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes depending on your students' writing speed and how comfortable they feel. On the writing days where they're drawing and doing some copy work as well, it may be more in the 20 to 25 minute range, but I think 20 is a good overall estimate for your daily lessons here. These lessons here are typically 2 pages long. I'm going to move this over a little bit so you can see. It's hard to have all 3 in frame at once. These lessons here are typically, I've been using BJ Press the longest, so I know this one the best. But this one here, the first page, this is actually a page of the student book. The first page is something that you actually do with your child, and this material here actually gives you some discussion points and things like that for you to go over that page with your child. And then this one here is meant for independent practice. So depending on, again, how long you discuss things, let me open this up all the way. Depending on how long you discuss things in a lesson, I think this is completely doable in the 20-minute mark. And I like that it's predictable with every day having, okay, this is the page that you do together, and then this is what they do on their own. So there is a flow in this. There is some familiarity from lesson to lesson, although the chapters do rotate between grammar and writing, so there is some variety there, but not on a day-by-day basis where, okay, today took 10 minutes and then tomorrow took 40 minutes, and then, not like that. You're going to have a solid chunk of time where you're doing all grammar and you have a consistent flow in your lesson, or as far as how much time it takes. Now, getting on to that lesson variety topic, I will say that of the 3, this has the most variety. This has definitely gives you the most different types of activities. So I'm going to show you here. You're going to do everything from crossword puzzles and writing sentences and verbal spelling bees. You're going to do things like acting out, giving presentations, things like that. You're going to be doing copy work for some grammar and changing all the words to a pronoun, those sorts of things. Lots of different types of activities, okay? And a day in this curriculum is everything under the number. So here's the number 1, and then A and B, that's day 1. But then 2, here is day 2. Here's the number 3, here's day 3. See how there are different lengths that and some of this, it may not look like that much, but when your child is writing, if you have a child that's slow in writing skills, this could take them some time to do all of this copy work and filling in the blanks and all that. Here's day 4, and then day 5. Okay, well, actually day 5 is continued over here too. So this curriculum here definitely has the most variety of activities. However, this one here, the variety is built into the daily plan. So on day 1, they're going to read a story with you and answer questions. They'll have some writing, but not very much on day 1. Day 2, they'll do, well, actually, I'm going to skip ahead because this first lesson isn't a good example. Okay, so day 1, they will have a story or a picture study. Okay, so they'll do that with you on day 1, and then some type of written practice on the back. Day 2 is just a grammar sheet, front and back. Well, this one I guess is a couple more. Usually it's front and back. Or is that day 3? Oh, that's day 3. Oh, I skipped a page. I'm sorry. So here's day 1. Here's day 2, a grammar sheet. Here's day 3. Day 4 is always reading a story in the Bible reader, drawing a picture, and then writing the caption. Day 5 is always devoted to spelling practice. So there is a variety of activities built into the fact that they do something different each day. But day 4, every day 4 page looks like this. Every first day is a story or a picture. So in that sense, you do know what's coming, and for some children that would be great. If your child likes to never have the same thing, this has a little more variety. This one here, I would say this one here it has the least amount of varied activities in this scheduled lesson. But they have things here down in this little section where you can do extra activities. Now let me see if I can find one here for you, but I should have had these marked a little better. My children have been sick, and I had very little time to prepare by marking the pages and stuff. I wrote out some notes to share with you, but I didn't actually mark the pages. But there are oftentimes extra little things down here, extra little activities or whatever that you can do with your child to kind of put into practice things that you've covered in the lesson. However, in the actual lessons themselves, it's pretty much fill in the blank, underline, circle, matching, your traditional workbook style activities. That's basically what you're going to find here. I would say this has the least amount of variety in terms of daily activity. Okay, spelling. In these two curriculum, you do have the option for using spelling. They do come with it, and I do believe that they both could be comprehensive, no need to supplement spelling curriculum. BJU Press actually has a separate spelling program, so this one does not have spelling in it. I actually did a separate video called Tips and Tricks for Language Lessons for Living Education, where I actually go over the spelling in this book. I had it marked here. Guys, I'm sorry. Where is the spelling? Right here. I went over the spelling. I went in detail through this section. I'm just going to refer you to that video if you want to see an in-depth look at day-to-day spelling. All I will say is that in this book, there's not daily instructions on each day to do spelling. So you come to a week and, okay, there's no mention of spelling here. No mention of spelling here. So it looks like as you're looking through here that spelling is only done on one day of the week, and that's just not true. I actually went through this in detail in a separate video to show you how the program does provide plenty of material for you to do spelling every day if that's what you want, and how I would break that up and how I would use it. So I encourage you to go to that video, my tips and tricks video for language lessons. But these are your spelling words for the week. So there's about 10 each week. In the BJU Press spelling, it would again be a separate program, a separate book. We've been using that for 2 years, and there are 20 words this year for second grade. So there's a lot more, double the words. And there's a couple bonus words, I believe, too. So this has just 10. And the one thing that is not in this spelling program that I kind of wish was a part of this was dictation sentences. I have the worst time coming up with dictation sentences using spelling words. So I do wish that there was some dictation for them to practice their spelling words, and there's none given. There's actually none given here either, except unless you pull your spelling words directly from the passage. So the way that they pull their spelling words out in future levels, now in this level I don't believe they pull their spelling words out this way. There might be a couple of them. Okay. Yeah, okay, so like the word no, these are their spelling words. There's only 5. There's only 5 spelling words If you go up to the orange book, which is the next level of this, there's only 3 to 6 spelling word suggestions given. They actually want you to draw your spelling words out of the passage that the child copies and the words that they miss on dictation. So the spelling is a little more open-ended as you go up in the LLATL levels. But in this level, in the yellow level that's geared for 3rd grade, they do give you 5 words to practice and a bonus word. And it does look like, I mean, there is 1 word up in the passage, but they're not really drawing them from the passage as much. And there are regular reminders and activities for spelling scheduled in this program. So that would be one difference I would see between these two, is that you don't see those daily reminders on the lessons. You do see the daily reminders for spelling here. But I would say, because of all the different spelling games and all the different spelling activities, there is a wider range of skills practiced with the spelling words in this program. Even though it's not written out for you, do spelling today, the activities that are provided in this book, in the back here, in this spelling activity book, and on the day 5, oh, I'm sorry, got a hair there. The spelling activities provided here in the back and on day 5 of each lesson do give you, I think, actually more ways to practice your spelling words. It's the same thing every week here. Copy them, use them to fill in sentences, practice a spelling bee, and take your test. That's a week of spelling here. Okay, so moving on to writing. I'm going to move this out of the way because I do actually have the student pages for writing for BJU Press 3. So this is level 3 for BJU Press, and these are the writing chapters of the student's book. So let's just look here at how they have the student do, well, let's do this first. Let's look at all the different types of writing. So in BJU Press level 3, you will do game instructions, you will do a narrative. There's the narrative. You will do a letter. You will do this isn't a persuasive essay, but this is the background for it. This is I wouldn't call it a persuasive essay at this point. I mean, I guess they are calling it that, but it's not really. It's more fact and opinion and working with how to put that into your writing. But you could call it a persuasive. I guess they do call it a persuasive essay. I don't know that I would really call it that yet, but they're getting them started for that. How about that? Then you're going to go on to, let's see, story. And I think that's all story still. Okay, this is a little bit of story elements here when they're working on a character web. So pulling in a little bit of reading there as they're working on a book report. So they will do a book report in the BJU Press program for 3rd grade. I'm looking to see if I missed any. Okay. Poetry. They will write a poem. Biography. So you see, we're getting a lot of types of writing. I probably don't have to show you any more because this gives you a good idea at the type of variety. And they're really getting into some lengthy compositions here. So that's just a flavor of the BJU Press writing in 3rd grade. In the language lessons for Living Education, level 3, again, I would encourage you to do to watch my tips and tricks video, but I will show you, this is the first instance in week 6 of finishing a story. They have them do this about 3 or 4 times, and then they get into formal paragraph instruction somewhere around here. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's further back. I thought it was a little further to the front than that. But it's somewhere, oh, maybe it's up here more, where they actually get into instruction about, with the paragraph sandwich. I'm going to find it for you now. Let's see, maybe it's I'll do a quick flip and see when I see that sandwich pop up. Well, paragraph here. So we're going to go back this way. I want to tell you what lesson number it's in, so you know. Because up until this point, you just have to write okay, we're talking about the sandwich here. Up until this point in the course, you're just finishing stories, but they don't give you, here it is. They don't give you real instruction for writing a paragraph until right here, lesson 13. So you're getting, or lesson 17, I'm sorry. So you're 17 weeks into your course and your child is at this point now constructing a paragraph. You saw where we were in the BJU Press program by that point. We were already to book reports and persuasive essays and things like that. So that's a difference that you will notice for sure. However, I will tell you, we are in BJU Press English 2 this year, and we have been asked to write things and never taught how to write a paragraph. So I thought that was kind of interesting, that they really do take a good amount of time in this program to develop paragraph writing before they ask you to write like papers. That kind of makes sense. Okay, so then this one, the writing in this program is very similar to this one, okay? The writing between these two are very similar as far as the types of writing. I will say that there is probably more instance of writing paragraphs in this book. In this book, what they have you do is they have you, here's an instance of writing a paragraph. They have you write a paragraph after the literature link, which I'll get to in a minute. And they actually, this is the only instruction they give you, and they don't repeat it. So they pretty much teach you one time how to write a paragraph or provide that instruction for you. And then after that, you kind of just have to draw on what you've already known. There's a lot more guidance in this book for children that, you know, might need more than one lesson of instruction about how to write a paragraph. So I definitely feel that for a reluctant writer or a newer writer, that this absolutely provides better guidance. There's a lot of step-by-step and charts in here, as you saw, to construct things, but I don't really feel like there's much why behind it. Like, I feel like it's like when you take the chart away from the child, are they going to be able to write these types of compositions? They basically just have them fill in the chart and then transfer it to a clean copy. But this book, I actually feel, does a better job of explaining the why and the reasons and helping the children actually craft the paragraph instead of just fill in a chart that's meant to be like a story template or something like that. So that's just my opinion. Okay, so that was composition. Oh, this is getting long. I'm sorry, guys. It's getting long. I don't like to have super long videos. Okay, so we've done spelling, writing, reading. So BJU Press has a separate curriculum for reading, so we can pull this away because I'm done showing you this. They do have a separate curriculum for reading, so there's really nothing in there. They do have literature links in their language arts, in the English book, but it's really not meant to be a reading curriculum at all. This here has little prompts, and if you go to the front, it does have little prompts throughout about independent reading. Oops, it's off the camera there. About independent reading. So there are suggestions at the back of the book that you can get a start on. I don't think that these suggestions will actually take up the entire year of your child's reading. Oh. Let me just show them to you real quick. Right here. I don't think, so if you're looking at the 3rd grade level, these are books for K to 3. I don't think that you'll be able to comprise an entire reading list from their suggestions, but it does give you a place to start if you just don't even know where to begin. There are reminders throughout the curriculum here to practice your reading, but there's no actual reading instruction, no additional phonics instruction. I think around the 3rd or 4th grade level, most programs do drop phonics instruction anyway, but and get more into reading comprehension and fluency and all of that, and story elements, all that kind of stuff. But there really isn't any literature analysis in here. There really isn't any type of reading comprehension, nothing like that provided, just that book list and the little reminders to actually read. This book, on the other hand, does actually include reading, but not in the way that you may prefer, because I didn't really prefer this, but I don't want to give too much commentary. I just want to show you. This is an example of their literature links, and the way that these work is they expect you to read. Well, you have two options. If you're using this as your reading program as well, you would need to purchase either from this company or separately, or check out from your library the book that they list for each literature link. There are 4 literature links, I believe, and you would actually be reading this book each day up until this lesson. So this is lesson 6. So a little bit each day up in, for the first 5 weeks, you would be reading the White Stallion, and that would be your independent reading. There are questions here that you can ask your child, and the answers are over here, and this is the teacher's guide. There are, this is the only activity, though, as far as, or I shouldn't say activity, this is the only comprehension check of the material. They do have activities here that you can do with the book. But it's not and this is actually where the first paragraph comes in. But as far as comprehension goes, it's just these questions. That's what you have. The other option they have, if you don't want to use this for your reading curriculum, but you still want to use the literature links and do all those activities, they do have a shortened version of a story that you can read here, and they have a separate section of comprehension questions for just that excerpt. So you really do have the option to use this as your reading program or not. The books, I feel like all of the LLATL books favor little girls, not little boys. There are a handful of books that I think are probably for either one, but all the books in here, my son would not like. That's a for free commentary. He would not like them. So that is reading. Now, I did hint on something as I was going over the reading about the teacher's manual. Obviously, BJU Press has a very solid teacher manual. There is a lot of instruction here, a lot of teacher tips. There are things that you can print off in the back for teaching aids and all of that sort of thing. So obviously, BJU Press does have a very robust teacher manual. This one here does not have a separate book. This is the entire program, one book. This does not have a separate book, but please do not mistake that means that it doesn't have a teacher's guide, because it does. It's contained within this book. I actually did, in that tips and trick video, I did a walkthrough showing how you could create your own teacher's manual from this book, or, by either leaving it in here or taking it out and making a separate teacher's edition. But there most certainly is teacher material in here for the teacher. There's an answer key, there's teaching aids in the back here that you can, here's the answer key. There are teacher's aids here that you can use as a visual to teach your child. There are plenty of teaching helps here. Please don't, because it's all in one book, please don't think that there's not teacher help for you. And this one here, this is actually the teacher's book. There is a separate student book. So obviously there is a teacher manual. For this one, I actually feel that for this particular level, that the student book is not needed, that you could do all of the activities in a notebook and just purchase the teacher manual. If I was using this program, I would do that. Okay, moving along to our last 3 things. Hopefully these will go fast. The biblical integration. These 2 programs, I believe, are both equally strong in the amount of biblical integration and application. They both have a very strong Christian worldview, and it comes through in the material throughout both of these courses. I will say that just, again, from my opinion, I believe that this actually provides for more natural conversation about the Bible topics when they come up. This one doesn't seem as natural. This seems a little more challenging for me to weave in those Bible discussions that they include here. This just is more conversational and lends itself to more chatting and things like that even after the lesson. So keep that in mind. This one here, I would say it has a flavor of Christianity or a biblical worldview. It's definitely in there. There are parts where you will look at a passage of scripture, and that will be, your language lesson. There is an activity in here where you consider the moral of the story, and they bring in God's word and challenge you to think of what God's word says about a situation. But I would call it a flavoring. I would not call it that it's written from a biblical worldview, or that it's has a strong biblical integration. Cost. All right, so this is actually the most affordable. This is right around $30 depending where you buy it. This if you buy the entire grade kit for this brand new from BJU Press, you're paying over $100. And I apologize, you guys. I don't actually know the price of this. I didn't look that one up, but it is between these two books. So it's somewhere in between these two books. This is the most affordable because that's assuming that you would buy the teacher book and the student book. Now, if you just buy one, these might be comparable. These might be the same price. But if you buy both books that come with the set, then this would be more. This would be the least expensive. I will put a link on my down below where you can find all these. The Master Books program is actually the best price on their own website because they mark it down 30% off of retail. So I will leave the link below to that. And I really don't know the best place to buy this one. See, I got this out of the library to check out and compare. So I've not actually looked into purchasing this one yet. So I don't really know the best place to buy this one, but I will leave the Common Sense Press website below. And of course, I'll leave BJU Press below as well. All right, the last thing I'm going to compare between these is the support available to you. Because as a homeschool parent, you might need some help in using the curriculum, tips and tricks and things like that. Of the three, I was not able to find really an online community. I really looked, and I couldn't find an online community of homeschool moms who are using it, or even a company sponsored community. And I looked, and I couldn't find one. So I'm not saying it's not out there. I'm saying if it is, it's not readily accessible. The Master Books company has set up a Moms of Master Books group. There are over 10,000 moms in it, so you're getting lots of feedback pretty much right away because there's always somebody commenting there. So this has a very active online community, and they very frequently do giveaways in that community for product credit and free downloads and things like that. So it's a very much a supportive, active community. The BJU Press has several different online communities. There's ones that are just for chatting about anything, doesn't even have to be homeschool related. Then there's ones that are specific to online learning, distance learning versus parent-led learning. So there are multiple different groups. I will say that there aren't as many like mom-created resources or mom-created tips and those sorts of things in these groups. It's pretty much just questions related to the curriculum itself, not so much on day-to-day use. So those things do come up more in the chat group than in the curriculum groups, but they do have a strong online presence. Speaking of the distance learning, that's another resource that's available if you find yourself in a pickle and you need a teacher to help you and do that online for you. They do offer video lessons for all of their courses, and they are, well, almost all of their courses. There's a few that they don't have them for. Like I think their elementary Spanish doesn't have it for all their courses, but for the most part, they have it for all of their core programs, I know. They are relatively expensive as far as courses go, but they're incredibly, incredibly valuable and worth every penny as far as video lessons go, I say. We have done distance learning. We are currently doing distance learning with BJU Press for some of our courses. And it is a lot of money for a spelling program, for example. Okay, it's $150 for spelling. The spelling book itself and a teacher's guide, if you would get it, is, I don't know, probably around $100 or something. I honestly don't know. We've always just gotten distance learning for spelling. And so it is more expensive than just buying the books and teaching yourself. But when you consider what you're getting a teacher teaching your child 165 lessons and all the books to take the course, extra printouts, and the courses are taught directly to your child on the video, not a camera in the back of the room, showing a teacher teaching a group of students. I mean, it's incredibly well done. It's basically like getting, I always call it romper room. I don't know that, I hope that's not insulting to them because it's actually a compliment, because when I used to watch romper room, I felt like she was talking just to me and I was the only person there and I had her full attention and she had my full attention, and I really felt like she was a treasured friend in my home every day. And that's how I feel about these BJU teachers. And I can't, if it's affordable to you and you're using BJU Press anyway, I can't recommend them enough. They are terrific. So that is another support to you as well. In addition, BJU Press in their teacher's guides, many of them, I don't know if it's all the courses, but I know in their English courses, they have a CD that you can print out extra worksheets. We've actually used this year as our work text. We didn't purchase a student work text for our English. We just printed off these extra worksheets that come on the CD that's in the back of the book. So that's an extra resource to you as well. They have a very helpful online, like if you click for support or contact us, they are Johnny on the spot. They have a tremendous customer help center, as does Master Books. Now, I tried contacting them and I still haven't heard back. So I must be doing something wrong when it comes to them. I'm sure they're a terrific company and they have an online community and they have great customer service. I'm sure they have all those things, but I just must not be contacting the right people because I'm not finding anything from them more than just the curriculum books. So this is a long video. This is my longest video, you guys, and I hope it was helpful. I feel somewhat scattered sometimes when I get going long, and I know that you all are sitting there like, when is she going to be done? So I hope that I wrapped it up okay and that you got some helpful information here. Please leave me any questions that you might have below, anything you want me to share more. I didn't really show in the books a whole lot because, again, this was mainly to compare between the two or between the three of these. And so a lot of that was just going from my experience. Maybe I should have had the camera on myself so you weren't staring at just closed books the whole time. But I hope it was helpful. So I will leave those different links that I said below. Let me know if I can help you out any more as you are choosing curriculum for next year. Take care.